Hello everybody, I'm gonna get ahead of Jackie Daytona and say it's time for game dev once again. So yeah, basically just continuing the work that I've been starting, which is fleshing out the entire game loop. So making the runs more like a run that you would encounter in a full version of the game. So we're trying to get the duration of each run to be anywhere between like 20 and 30 minutes. And there also has to be some kind of in-run progression. And I've started doing this by, dividing up the regions into tiers and then into notoriety regions, I guess you could say. So we've got notoriety regions on the map where each region has a different boss that you'll fight. And then I've also got tiers assigned to each node. And the tiers generally get higher as you move away from the start. And based on the node's tier, that's how powerful it will be. So we can get into all that in just a second. But again, Alchemortis, as many of you know, is available on Steam for wishlisting. But for anyone that's new here or anyone that is watching the VOD, it's the first line in the description below. You can also join as a paid Patreon member to get access to the playtest now. Upon signing up for one of the tiers, you will get a Steam key emailed to your Patreon associated email address, and you'll be able to play the playtest now. And if you stay subscribed, you will get early access to any future playtests. I think I want to do a playtest every like 4 to 5 weeks, ideally, to test various different things. So yeah, and then there's other perks here. You get some Discord channels. And if you subscribe at the sponsored tier, you will get 2 big things: unlimited access to all of my course content, and also your name in the in-game credits of Alchemortis when it releases. So something for you to consider. And you don't need to, you just need to subscribe once to this if you want the Alchemortis credits. You don't need to stay subscribed, although I would appreciate it. But if you subscribe at this $15 tier at any point in development, your name will be added in the credits. And then also I have my Udemy courses. So if you want to learn how to build games in the Godot engine, those are linked below as well. Okay, enough of the ads. I gotta make my money somehow, but anyway, that's enough of the ads. Let's get into the development. Hello, RN Genesis, welcome back. Meep, good to see you. Discord notifications work better because I have like 1,000 subscriptions on YouTube. Okay, good, yeah. I'm glad you like the Discord notifications. Welcome, Yeet, also. Seth, hello, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Defo more reliable. Appreciate the notification is Discord too. Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are liking the Discord. Hello, Forgotten, welcome back. Also, welcome, V. You may not want to do, but think of having a channel where you do like a weekly report on where the game is at. Would be really cool. Well, I think the devlogs are kind of going to serve as that. If I can do like one devlog every 3 or 4 weeks, I think what I want to try to do is, typically my devlogs are like 10 to 12 minutes long. I think what I'll do is probably try to shorten the devlogs, but make them more frequent. So if I do like a 4 to 5 minute devlog instead, I can make those a little bit faster. I might also, I don't know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Working on day job, the joys, yeah. At least you can catch streams while working. Hello, UFO. Welcome. Good to see you. But before we get into that, it's time for the sales talk. Yeah, seriously. Hello, Snubbill. Thank you for the IDR 10,000. That's very generous. Thank you, thank you. And we have the message Yummers here. I saw your rotoscope animation in the Discord. That was pretty slick. That looked very, very smooth. It was very cool. Look at all these Yummers. Hello, Ninja Link. Welcome to the stream. Thank you again for all of your feedback. That was very helpful. I'm surprised that you all are playing the playtest as much as you are, given that there's not a whole lot of content. So I think that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Hello, Sam Studio. Hello, Real Crudo. Welcome back. Jerome, good to see you. Was that going to be about shorts? Oh yeah. I have so many things to do, but Alchemortis development is the priority, obviously. So many things to do. There's not enough time in the day. There's not enough time in the day. Hello, Johan, welcome. I have 3.6 hours on it already. That's crazy. that's super. I think it's a really good signal. Like, so not only are you all playing it more than I thought the playtest would be played, but my friends are also frequently playing it just on their own too, which is like, okay, I've got something special here. So now the main focus is don't drop the ball. That's the main focus. Maybe I'll just crumble under the pressure and go hide away and the game won't release for 10 years. Anyway, so yeah, where am I at in the game right now? I actually forgot. I worked on it a bunch yesterday as well, off stream, but I don't remember what I was working on. I think the big thing to figure out is I think I have it in a place where I can kind of gauge the overall flow. Oh, I redid the combat scaling as well. That's what I did yesterday. So I completely rewrote the combat generation, not the generation algorithm in terms of like what the board is placed, but like the difficulty algorithm, I guess you could say. And I think it's feeling better. The combats are generally tougher and there are more meaningful choices on the combats. So for instance, like a tier 3 combat here, this is going to be very hard to deal with early on in the game. So it may actually force you to take a different path, but I think the reward scales more with the difficulty as well. So yeah, let's see. So anyway, so we've got these regions with this border here indicated by this border. So there's a couple of big questions. So I want to nail down the notoriety spreading mechanic. So I've got this set up so that if I visit this will automatically throw me into the boss fight. So this is going to automatically throw me into the boss fight. I do this, auto resolve, and then what happens is we've got these eyeballs here. A little eyeball animation. It might be too much, but so these eyeball icons now appear on any node that is under the watch of the Inquisition. And again, what that does is that basically doubles the notoriety penalty. And it spreads over a certain number of turns. So the idea is that you'll have like 4 moves to get into this next region before this entire region comes under the watch of the Inquisition. So if I go here, what we should see is that a lot more eyeballs appear. I don't know, that might be a little bit too much. I'm not totally satisfied with that that animation there, but so if I go one more turn, the entire region should be covered by the eyeballs. And so what that is supposed to do is that is supposed to make it so that if you continue to stay in this region, it's basically just going to make it so that you have fewer moves. So there's a couple reasons why you don't want to stay in this region. One, these are generally weaker nodes. They're less powerful nodes. And 2, you're going to be accelerating the notoriety gain by staying in this area. But you can still go into this area. So if there's a card or if there's a node like right on the border, like this increased board size, you want to dip down here to grab it real quick, you can definitely do that. But generally speaking, this is applying pressure on the player to go into this region now, which is going to again contain different enemy cards, which are not yet in place, and a different boss for this region. And then the same will be true of this region up here. Now, one thing that I need to figure out is I need to figure out what should happen, if anything, if you go up into this region early. I think there's a number of ways to address that. One way I was thinking about addressing it is that if you cross this border, you get thrown into the boss fight for this region automatically, but you also get extra rewards. So if you want to just dip into this area, you can basically just finish, quote unquote, finish this area early if you want. The other option is to not do that and to just allow the player to go as deep as they want before triggering the first boss fight, and then somehow make this area more difficult. I mean, this area is more difficult naturally speaking. So yeah, there's there's a bunch of questions to answer here. I don't know if they're going to be able to be answered without doing some playtesting and seeing what feels good and what feels bad. But yeah, that's basically what we got going on. So there's a couple additional big questions. One is, how do I do the tier scaling for the artifacts? So let me back up. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. So yesterday I was talking about like all these nodes initially were generated on a tier scale of like 1 to 6. But I did end up changing the tier scaling for certain types of nodes like the booster. So you'll notice that this booster in this top region here is tier 3, whereas the combats are like tier 6 and sometimes tier 7. So this tier scaling actually goes slower for the booster. And there's a tier 4 booster there. So generally speaking, the booster is going to be lower tiers. I think I'll probably do the same thing for the artifact. So I think the easy thing to do is that maybe just for each artifact tier you get above 1, you get a reroll or something like that. Now, I don't know how to resolve the tier for the increased board size. That's going to be... I think I have the increased board size just fixed at tier 1, so the board size increases are always just tier 1, like they just can't go above that. Which is fine for now. So yeah, I think, anyway, there's a lot of stuff to resolve here, but let's see. Got excited when people were interested in my progress for my game. Yeah. Hello, Chris. I feel inferior at 2.3 hours. I had more I would share, but I'm not sure my stuff would count as game dev. You're fine with putting me there? Yeah, you can put it there. That's fine. That's fine. If we need to, we can spit out more channels as the Discord grows to keep things more focused. But right now, it's like there's no sense in going super granular. I'm creeping up on 4 hours as well. Only played a handful of runs. You can't drop the ball because you're the person who made it good, this good in the first place. I appreciate the confidence, yeah. Don't pressure yourself. You have great instincts and the game is looking great. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited for people to share their progress on the Discord server, making solo dev feel a bit less solo. Yeah, I think we got a good community here. You like the eyeballs? Good morning, Emerson. Is notoriety going to reset when you cross the border? That's, yeah, I don't know. That's the thing I'm trying to figure out. Like, should there be some kind of something that happens when you cross the border early? You know, the other thing that I could do is, or that I was thinking about doing is, instead of having the regions connected through multiple roads like this, I could almost like draw a river going through and then have one node bridge here. And that would force the player to actually navigate to a specific node so that they can cross the border. I don't know if that would feel great though, because if you trigger the boss fight over here, and then you got to make your way all the way this way to get across, that wouldn't feel great. And it's kind of weird too that, you know, this is the second notoriety bar, which is broken. I might want to fix that, but this is the second notoriety bar now. And every time I visit a node in this area, it fills up the second notoriety bar for this region. So it's a little bit weird. There's some stuff to figure out for sure. There's some stuff to figure out for sure. Would you highlight the passive fog around regions with a different color? I could do that maybe. What's it called when you digest spicy food? Fire belly. Oh, nice. Do you have some add-on for the font quality? I'm having some trouble with pixel fonts. No, I don't. You just have to make sure that your pixel fonts are the right size. So most pixel fonts will be probably 16 pixels is the size that they need to be rendered at, which means that you can only use font sizes 16, 32, 48. Like you can only do 16 pixel increments. If you try to do something like 8 pixels for a font that's designed for 16 pixels, it's not going to look good. It's going to get all crunched up. So that's the main thing. Hello, Neozoid. Thank you. How can I join the test? Well, you can subscribe to the Patreon, and if you don't want to do that, you can wait until it goes public, which will be next week. Love this community. Honestly, everyone is so wholesome and lovely. Yeah. If you cross the border without penalty and you avoid combats, you can just get the rewarded for little risk. I think it should trigger the Area 1 boss fight when you cross. Yeah, it might do that, yeah. Maybe generate like 3 bridges or something, one in the middle and then one on the sides. Yeah, that could work. Why don't you stream things such as the development of the eyeballs? Well, I mean, it's just, I would have to keep my stream on basically all day. And that can be a little bit tiring. So, you know, my primary focus is like working on this game full time basically, but I don't want to do full-time streaming. I like to just be able to, you know, just work on my own, experiment with things, all that kind of stuff. What's going on here? Oh, that's not a road. Okay. Ito Makes Games, welcome back. Good to see you. So, yeah. Let's fix this run progress bar not resetting first. Oh, I think I just need to change this. Also, I think there's an issue where it's adding the notoriety level of the node that you're on after the boss fight, which is a little bit weird. So we'll see. So if I go here, oh, I got to figure out what to do with this enchantment to the upgraded tier enchantments. Yeah, so it's giving me a 3 notoriety penalty here because I'm visiting this. So let's figure that out. Let's get rid of this. State map, enter state map. This is gonna be bad. Is in boss fight. This is gonna be... I need to rework this whole state machine, I think, but... in here... traversal count greater than 0. This is nuts. I know, it's so we can bully you into brown eyes. Oh yeah. My channel trailer got 5 more likes and 70 views yesterday, more than all 3 post days combined. YouTube is strange. Yeah, it goes like that. That's awesome. Very cool. Grab these. Boom, boom, boom. It's gonna fill up the boss bar. Go do this. Bam, bam. Oh, it didn't. What happens if I do this? Okay, well that bar is working now. This needs to be... Let's change this. Okay. Are you any plans for marketing yet? Well, I'm doing marketing. The streams are part of the marketing. The devlogs are part of the marketing. But as far as like an actual marketing push, I think that will be handled when I'm closer to release. There may or may not be a Next Fest happening next year. So if I can get the game into a state where it's basically done by early next year, then I can enter it into a Steam Next Fest that may or may not be coming. And that would be a part of the marketing as well. Okay, so now we're back at 0. Okay. Cool. The road is not a road. It's hard work while you can play Silksong. It's the best game I ever played. Yeah, I've heard it's very good. I will probably not play Silksong though. I will probably not. I'm not a huge fan of Metroidvanias. Anyway, so I think that's fixed. What is here? Restart extensions, whatever. Maybe you can just lock the player out of the second tier area until they beat the boss. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do that. It would feel kind of artificial to say, oh, you can't go here yet. I want it to feel like it's an openly explorable map, but... I mean, I kind of like the multiple bridges idea because then they can serve as like checkpoints, right? Where if you try to cross the checkpoint early, you trigger the boss fight. But there has to be some kind of reward for triggering it early as well. Because otherwise there would be no point, you know? So, fix notoriety bugs. I mean, that's going to be a big thing to figure out. The eyes can fly, spying and flying, yeah. I wouldn't have guessed the Inquisition was a bunch of eyeballs. They must be using scry all over the kingdom to find you, yeah. I kind of like the eyeball motif. I think it's kind of cool. Ever since I started BG3, yeah. I've been wanting to do another BG3 run, but I just know if I get into it, like, development is going to suffer, so I have not done that. I downloaded it. It's just eating up the 100 gigabytes or whatever on my hard drive, but... Have you thought about getting Alchemortis published? I will be talking probably with some publishers if they reach out, but whether I decide to do that or not, it's going to depend on like if it sounds like a good fit. We'll see. I like to keep my options open. Why would Next Fest not happen? Well, because I'm a Steam partner, I know all of the dates of everything that's coming up, but I'm under NDA, so I can't say whether something is happening or not. So Next Fest, there may or may not be a Next Fest. Historically speaking, Steam has a Next Fest at the beginning of the year, but I have no idea if it's happening at the beginning of next year. Suck at Metroidvanias, it could be the best game ever made, and I just know it would frustrate me. Negative notoriety. Good morning, Ariane. Like, if you beat the boss early, you start with negative notoriety. Oh, interesting. Maybe instead of negative, maybe it could just be like you get a buff where the notoriety gain is halved or something, so it grows slower. Almost like you caught the villagers or the human faction off guard and they're like scrambling to regroup. And so you get more opportunities to like move around in the next area. I like that idea. I like that idea. I'm saving BG3 and Steam Deck for finally getting another job, a nice reward. Yeah, I always like doing that too whenever I get a new job. I always like to just buy something nice for myself. It's a nice little thing to do. So I'm kind of not sure what, there's all kinds of stuff to do. I'm just trying to think of what the next best thing to do. I think I do need to figure out what happens if you cross the border early. I almost wonder if I should do this. I almost wonder if I should create a new checkpoint node. So imagine this happens, right? So imagine instead of the regions just being arbitrarily drawn like this, imagine there's a new series of maybe 3 or so nodes. And these are checkpoint nodes. And when you visit a checkpoint node before your notoriety has filled up, you enter the boss fight immediately. And if you've already fought the boss, the checkpoint node just becomes empty and doesn't have a notoriety penalty. And then what I can do is I can create 3 of those checkpoint nodes dividing the region. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, so if I create a new node type called a checkpoint and use that to connect the regions together, then that can be the trigger for when you're crossing into a new region. If you visit the checkpoint before the bar is filled up, it triggers the boss fight immediately, but then comes with extra rewards. And if you've already fought the boss, it just becomes a 0 cost node that you have to travel through to get into the next region. That feels very thematic to me, and it also feels like a good way of handling that transition. Could also give each checkpoint their own boss as well. Yeah, that's a good point. Like if you want control over the boss that you'll fight, then you can visit a checkpoint early. Otherwise, if the boss triggers just by the notoriety bar filling up, then you fight one of the random bosses for this region. Because I definitely do want to do multiple different bosses for each region. Yeah, I like that. So maybe we'll do that. That seems like a good next step. This is going to be a little bit of a nightmare, though, to figure out how to connect up the regions like that. I'm going to have to modify my map generation algorithm quite a bit to do that, but we can figure it out. I think in effect, notoriety is a good idea. Like you escaped before, they could gather up and prepare for you. Yeah, exactly. I want to make a Godot tutorial, but I'm not sure if I want to do it in C# or GDScript. Why not both? But yeah, I think GDScript, generally speaking, there's more of an audience for GDScript tutorials. So if you just want to get eyeballs on the tutorial, you can't really go wrong with GDScript. How did you create the map like its generation? I'm going to try to describe it in as basic a way as possible. So basically I use Poisson or poison disk sampling to place a bunch of random points within a region. And then what I do is I do a Delaunay triangulation, which triangulates all the points together. So that means that every point is connected to its neighbors without any of the edges crossing each other. And then what I do is I generate a minimum spanning tree from the start node through all of the nodes on the map, which basically means that it creates a tree that is guaranteed to have all of the nodes connected to each other, but without any like duplicate edges. And then what I do is I take the edges from the Delaunay triangulation and I randomly add them back in to the minimum spanning tree so that you get multiple connections to nodes. And that's basically it. That's basically it. Obviously, the like placing the decorations and the art and everything is a little bit more involved, but that's the core data structure. Speaking of artificial limits, all pirated copies of Serious Sam 3 has an insanely fast, invincible machine gun scorpion that follows you through every map instead of a traditional DRM. Oh, that's funny. Probably your best of using GDScript. Hello, Mark. People will be able to adapt to C# if needed. They probably have a bit more experience if they're using C#. Yeah, true. What are we doing right now? We're trying to figure out what the heck we're doing. That's what we're doing. Croissant calculation, yeah. It's really interesting, yeah. In summary, it's yucky math. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah, for sure. Probably doesn't matter since it's pretty much decided already, but I'm in favor of going to the next region early as well. It allows the game to be speedrun, which can be beneficial for sales as well. Funny words, Magic Man, yeah. So I guess we'll just try that then. So let's see. Add checkpoint nodes that can serve as bridges to the next region. Visiting a checkpoint early triggers a boss fight and rewards you with less notoriety gain for X amount of traversals. I like that. All right, let's figure out how the heck we're going to add checkpoints into this. This is going to be very fun. My map generator is actually not that complicated. It's this entire script is responsible for generating the data of the map. It's only 313 lines, so it's not that complicated really. So the first thing that we're going to need is an event type. We're going to create a checkpoint equals 11. I think I almost might have to break this up. Hold on a second. Right now the entire thing is being triangulated, but I think I want... Where's the triangulation happening? Here. Minimum spanning tree.compute. So I think basically this create edges method here, this just needs to be done for each separate region. Assign notoriety tiers. So let me just try this real quick. So if I do the assign notoriety tiers before I do create edges, this is going to have to change to create edge for a notoriety tier. I might change this actually. Assign notoriety regions. Set notoriety region. Notoriety region. 2 nodes. Node dot notoriety region. Okay, so assign notoriety regions, that will happen before we do create edges, and then this is going to be create edge for notoriety tier, and we'll do this for each var region nodes in map.notoriety region to nodes dot values. Create edge for notoriety region, create edges for notoriety region. Then we'll pass in the region nodes here. We're going to pass in a list. Do I need the map? I'm gonna need to break this up actually. Well, it's okay. This needs to turn into region nodes. This is creating a minimum spanning tree for am I using this minimum spanning tree anywhere? I may need to make this a little bit more sophisticated actually. So let's do this. Let's create a new class, public class, notoriety region. We're gonna need the minimum spanning tree to be in here. And we're also gonna need a list, public region nodes, or no, public list run map node region nodes. Actually, I can just call it nodes, it's fine. Notoriety region to nodes. Do I want to do this? Let's change this. Public list notoriety region, notoriety regions. Do I want to do this? Public notoriety region, create notoriety region. Okay, so going back here. Create edges for notoriety region. I wonder, I want to just remove this reference here. Get rid of this map entirely. This would be region.nodes. Ensure connectivity. Notoriety region. Assign notoriety regions. I'm going to change this. Public void add node. Run map node. Public void order. Nodes is sort of thing. I don't like that. Order by, I'm just going to copy this order by from here. Order by descending. Okay. Map.notoriety regions I.order. Okay. Create edges for notoriety region. Ensure connectivity region. Minimum spanning tree.compute. Map.get edges map. So I need edges. We're going to put a get edges in here. Okay. Minimum spanning tree.compute region.getEdges. Region.nodes. We'll do region.apply MST. We'll take this out of here. And we'll put this in here. Nodes. MST there. Cool. So region.apply MST, map.add shortcut. Probably going to want that in here as well. So what I should expect to see now after having done that is I should see 3 distinct regions that are not connected to each other. Let's see what happens. I come from web dev background, but have you ever considered split tests during playtest to test play stats with different balancing, or do you not think that would be worth the time? That may be worthwhile in the future. I don't know how to do a split test. In Steam, though. I don't know if it's like an A/B test. I don't know if it's possible. I think if early border crossing affects stack, it would be cool. Like, you're just so elusive, society is in shambles trying to catch you, and you get less and less notoriety with each crossing. Yeah, I can definitely do that. How did I come up with Alchemortis? Well, you can watch my devlog that I released on the channel for a deeper dive into that, but basically I played the Bazaar and I was like, ooh, this would be cool as a single player roguelike. And of course I like necromancy themes and whatnot, so yeah, that's basically it. A lot of it kind of developed naturally, though. I didn't sit down and say, okay, I'm going to make this game with this theme. A lot of it was, you know, playing around with the art style, playing around with the mechanics, the themes, and it just kind of like fell into place. Okay, so now what you can see is that there are these regions here which are disconnected. So this region here, you see how none of these nodes are connected? So now we've split the regions into separate regions. And so now the next step here is to figure out how to add a handful of checkpoint nodes in this no man's land here, and then connect the regions together through those nodes. So I almost want to, instead of trying to add nodes into here, I think I just want to identify nodes that are roughly in the no man's land area and create checkpoints from those. This is looking pretty cool, though. Already got the regions separated. Very nice. Okay, all right, we're getting there. Hello, Schlurgy, welcome back. Ben, good to see you. Homo Ludens, welcome to the stream, good to see you. Polaris, welcome back. Rookie Tookie, hello, hello. Does it have online PvP? It does not, no. Welcome, Code Red, by the way, good to see you here. Any chance for a MacBook release? Yes, the game will be releasing on all desktop platforms, so Linux, Mac, and PC. What motivates the Alchemortis dev? Is it the fire in his belly? Yes, it's the fire in my loins. Maybe don't say that, but anyway, I probably shouldn't have said that. That's okay. I'm just making sure that this still works. Oh my. Oh goodness. I'm just so into like the theme of this like Middle Ages, you know, I'm just using archaic figures of speech, you know? Okay, so this appears to still be working, so that's good. Yeah. Welcome, Adaton. Good to see you, brother. Adaton is my IRL friend, everybody, so... Love the facial reaction after you realize what you said, yeah. That is going on my wall. Okay, so everything, that was a pretty smooth transition to 3 distinct regions that are disconnected. So now, let's do this. Okay, so now the run map generator. So now we need to somehow identify the checkpoint nodes. How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? That is a good question. Let me look at the map again. IRL friends don't exist. Welcome, Asymmetrics. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Definitely need to start clipping some of these stream moments and make shorts out of them. Yeah. Do your nodes have XY coordinates? If so, could you choose a node from region A and look for a node from region B with a certain distance, not too far away, then connect them? I think that's what I'm going to have to do. So basically the way I'm thinking about it is, so there's a width to the map. The map generates within a 1000 by 2500 rectangle. And so I think what I would do is if I want 3 checkpoints, what I'd essentially do is divide the region vertically into 3 columns. And then from the first column, I would choose the node that is closest to the region. And I would just transform that into a checkpoint and then connect it to the closest node in that region. So for instance, it would pick this one as the checkpoint, and then it would connect probably out to these 3 here. Or it could connect to 1, or it could connect to multiple. And then I would do the same for the second column, so it might choose this one here and do connect in there. And then for this one, I might choose this one and do that. So yeah, probably we'll have to do something like that. I think that will work. Okay, I think that will work. So before I do that though, I need a quick 3-minute break. And when I come back, we will figure out how to get that to work. I think it will work okay. The one thing that I'm worried about is that I'm going to be effectively reducing the amount of nodes that are available in the region by 3. But I don't know if that's going to be a huge problem. And I can always increase the number of nodes to compensate if necessary. But yeah, I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break. We'll get that implemented when I get back. Alrighty, I'm back. So, what are we doing? Right, we got to do this. So we got to assign notoriety regions. Assigned nodes is equal to that. Okay, so when we do assign node types, I'm probably gonna need, let's see. For var I equals 0, I is less than map.notoriety regions.count -1. We'll do this. Create region. Let's do create notoriety region checkpoints. This could be map.notoriety regions I. Map.notoriety regions I +1. Private void create notoriety region checkpoints from region to region. I don't know how to, okay, from region. I don't know what it just did, so I'm gonna rewrite this. Okay, from region to region. So we're gonna need to identify. Let's create a constant up here. Private const int checkpoints per region is equal to 3. So for var I is equal to 0, I is less than checkpoints per region. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to take, so var nodes is equal to from region dot nodes dot where x dot position dot x is less than run map dot dimensions. Oh wait, where's the dimensions? Here. Dimensions dot x divided by 3 times I +1. And guess I don't need these parentheses. Okay. Var nodes, or let's just do this. Nodes is equal to, actually we can do this. We're not going to do the to list here. Dot order by x dot position dot y dot first or default. If node is equal to null, we're going to do this. gd.push warning or push error did not find a valid node for checkpoint. just in case. Okay, so now what I need to do is node.setEventType, eventType.checkpoint. And then what we need to do is we need to get closest nodes. Our closest next region nodes is equal to toRegin.nodes order by x.position distance squared to node position dot take 3. We can do math. Let's do RNG. I need the RNG. Is the RNG in here? Yep. RNG.randi range 1 to 3 to list. I think that's basically what needs to happen. Cool. And then down in here, when I'm doing the assign node types, let's do this. Or node.eventType is equal to eventType.checkpoint. We're going to continue there. And then assign node types test. Why is this being randomly ordered? Alrighty, create notoriety region checkpoints. Let's see what happens. An Ouroboros card might be cool. It's an alchemical symbol symbolizing cyclical renewal. It's a tail-eating serpent dragon. Might be cool as a 3x3 card with a hole in the middle. Yeah, that is a good idea. Oh, it looks like we have an error. Do I already have that written down? I don't, okay. What is the issue here? Given key checkpoint was not available. Oh, I need to, okay. Let's just duplicate this. Checkpoint. We'll just keep the alchemy symbol in there for now. All right, let's see what happens. How do I identify the checkpoints? There's a checkpoint here, checkpoint there, and a checkpoint there. Okay, cool. That looks pretty good, actually. I just realized, though, that this could potentially crisscross the roads, I think. Let's do a regenerate here. Checkpoint, checkpoint, checkpoint. I'm almost positive that this could create a crisscross, which would not be good. Also, there's no checkpoint this way. What the heck? Oh. Oh, I see. There's a checkpoint there, checkpoint there. Okay. Okay. I'm kind of concerned. I'm pretty sure it can create a crisscross in some situations. I'm not doing anything to prevent that from happening. Checkpoint there. Checkpoint there. Checkpoint there. I mean, the easy way to fix that would just be to only allow one connection from the checkpoint. Oh yeah, here's a crisscross. So see, checkpoint, it crossed that line there. So it created a connection here and a connection there. It created a crisscross road, which is not ideal. How am I going to prevent crisscrossing? So I think what happened here, let me think. How am I going to prevent crisscrossing? That's a good question. Almost committed the crime of switching to Unity for my 3D game, but decided to stay lawful. That's good. Yeah, you better. If you abandon Godot, you will be banned from everywhere on my channel. So you've been warned. It's time for Game Dev once again. Yes, indeed. Welcome back, Jackie Daytona. Once you cross one checkpoint, will the others disappear? Because if you come back to that region and try to leave it as intended, that you face the checkpoint again, it's a one-time thing. So the plan is after you defeat the boss, the checkpoints will still exist, but they will just have a 0 movement penalty. Very excited for the regions playtest. Feels like a big Minecraft alpha updates all over again. Yeah. Could change those nodes to be visually empty for now to make them a little easier to see while you were testing this part. Yeah, I could do that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I don't know how I'm going to prevent crisscrossing though. That's a good question. I almost need to... Why is this taking forever? I think I need to triangulate the whole map together still. Oh, what is this? That's an interesting path. Here, checkpoint there, checkpoint there. There's another crisscross. Yeah, this is going to be... So I'm triangulating all the... So the reason why the triangulation happens to begin with is because it doesn't create crisscrossing roads. That's the whole point of the Delaunay triangulation. The problem though is that these regions are just being connected naively. So I'm just getting the checkpoint node and I'm finding X number of close nodes in the next region and connecting them. But that can create crisscrosses like this because it's not doing a triangulation between the regions. So I think one way to do it is I could triangulate all of the nodes together with a Delaunay triangulation, as well as triangulating all of the, regions. And with that information, I should be able to find edges that I can add that will not crisscross. Or is that true? Is that true? The easy thing to do for now is to instead of doing this, we'll just do take one. To do enable connecting multiple edges, but need to account for Crisscrossing. I know nothing of Godot, yeah. Why is crisscrossing a bad thing? I don't think it breaks much, honestly. It doesn't necessarily break anything, but I think the map just looks cleaner when there's no crisscrossing. So it's mostly just a stylistic decision. So now if I just add one edge, that will prevent it, I think. I think that will work. Checkpoint there, checkpoint there, checkpoint there. A crisscross is a fully connected neighborhood in graph theory. I'm sure I learned about an algorithm to detect that in my computer science class in university. Could you perform the triangulation initially, then perform it again on only the closest nodes to the checkpoint, clear all paths, then recreate them with secondary triangulation? Clear all paths connected to the checkpoint. Yeah, so you're saying well, the problem is that there's two different sets of data, right? The region is triangulated, but then if I do another triangulation with like the checkpoint and all of the nearest nodes or whatever, I don't know if that triangulation is guaranteed to be the same such that the same edges are connected. So I think, still end up with a crisscross because if there's two different sets of triangulation, I don't know if they're guaranteed to be the same. Like if you triangulated this region, like just these handful of nodes here, and then compared that to the triangulation of this giant region, yeah, I don't know if that would produce the same sets of edges for like this part. Could detect a crisscross by checking if all neighbors of a checkpoint are also connected to each other. If there are 3 neighbors and they are connected to each other, there must be a cross. Yeah, that sounds right to me. So like if I connected here and then here and then here. So if this checkpoint connected to this node, checking if all direct neighbors of a checkpoint are also connected to each other. Yeah, that's true. Guess it would require overriding the entire map, which is probably not ideal and could cause potential issues. Yeah, I mean, ideally, I would just have one triangulation that I could just like prune and peel off, but I think that creating checkpoints becomes harder then. Well, maybe not, because what I could do, maybe I should have kept the triangulation all as one thing. Because what I could do is because I still have the region data, so what I could do is triangulate the whole map. Then I could say, okay, here's the checkpoint nodes, remove all of the edges going from the checkpoint nodes that are going to a node of a different region, right? So we just remove all those edges, and then I can add a couple of those edges back. So I would need to filter out. So I would need to go like, if this enchant was connected from here to this, these nodes are in different regions. So I need to find any connections that are happening between nodes of different regions and remove them temporarily. But the checkpoint triangulations can remain in place. Is it possible to create checkpoints before performing the triangulation? I don't think it matters if it happens before or after. But what I'm thinking now is I probably shouldn't have triangulated each region individually. Shoot, am I gonna have to undo all that? Will that work if I just triangulate the entire map like I was doing? And then I find all the edges that are connected to different regions and just remove those. Trying to cross the border as a necromancer, always get hassled by the border guards, yeah. That sounds a lot more straightforward. It does. Now I have to undo all the freaking... That sucks. Thank God for Git version control, yeah. I made a bunch of changes, though, that I'm going to need to keep, so... I'm trying to decide, too, if I need... Do I still want the regions to be triangulated for any region, or for any reason? Oh, man. I made all these changes. I kind of do think I want to keep the... notoriety region as a class, though, because that's pretty clean. How do I get Godot to show this toolbar when you run debug M4.4? Oh, you go to the game tab here, game, and then you click this menu here, embed game on next play, and then you can also do make game workspace floating on next play, and that will give you that little toolbar. Man, do I really need to undo everything? That embed doesn't work on Apple? Oh, interesting. I might just manually undo it because there's a bunch of stuff that I want to keep. I think it's probably going to be easier just to like move all this stuff back into the run map here. Oh no. Oh no. That sucks. Okay. It should be relatively easy to get back in working condition, though. Let's just get rid of this for now. All right, let me just see if that put it back the way it's supposed to be. Okay. I wonder where those region boundaries went. I'll figure that out later. Okay, so it's back to where it was. Now when I do create notoriety region checkpoints, so when I do create edges here, I think I'm going to want to do this. I want to do this in here, maybe? So I probably want to do this create notoriety region checkpoints. Am I assigning the regions first? Yeah. So we probably want to do the create notoriety region checkpoints here. But this is not going to do any of this. It's just going to set the checkpoint type. Okay, so that should work. I don't need this from region anymore. So here, we'll just do this. And we're going to move this before the create edges. So we have that data. This is not going to create the result I want. I just want to make sure that I do end up getting checkpoint nodes on the map here. What is this error? Could not match member I animation to any node in map node. Oh. Oh. Anyway, let's see here. Okay, checkpoint there. So yeah, so these two nodes are different regions, I think. Or maybe not. These are definitely, so you could see like the checkpoint is here, but you could go this way into the next region. I wish I had the boundaries. I don't know where the boundaries went. That's kind of concerning. I want the embed so bad, but no dice on macOS. Necromancer is an illegal immigrant. Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah. Now we have to... What? Are the people with yellow text on the Discord mods? Good question. No, they're not. Yellow text is supporters, I think. Patreon supporters. I probably shouldn't get distracted by this, but that's okay. Yeah, yellow text is people who have supported at the highest Patreon tier. Yeah, you gotta connect your Patreon to Discord. Okay, so now that I have the data, what I need to do essentially is filter out any edges that are... Let's do this. Filter out any... Where's a... How is this working now? So let's do this. Var MST edges excluding region connectors, excluding region edges, I guess. The MST edges dot where is not equal to var x. Let's see. I'm going to rename this to extra edges. And then let's do var region edges is equal to MST edges dot MST edges. Wait, what do I do? Region edges is equal to, let's just do this. Extra edges dot where that region edges dot add range MST excluding region. Oh, this actually does need to be equals equals. I don't want to do this. Extra edges dot union. What am I doing here? MST edges. Hold on, there's a lot of stuff going on. Var all region edges is equal to. Okay, that should work. Probably not doing that in the most efficient way possible, but that's fine. So we're getting the region edges from the minimum spanning tree and also the extra edges, region edges, and we're just adding that to all region edges. Okay. Let's rename this to all extra. Let's do this. All extra edges. Okay, so if I did this correctly, what this should be doing is this should be splitting the regions again. So there should be no edges connecting the regions anymore. Oh, there's a little island here. What in the heck? What? Something broke. I think the minimum spanning tree is creating problems here. I think I've hooked mine up wrong then. Oh, maybe. Just any Patreon tier is yellow. What AI do I use? How many? I mostly just use ChatGPT. I'm not highest tier, but I got supporter role. Uh-oh. Oh, no, wait. I keep getting it wrong. The highest tier is the sponsor tier. The lower tier is the supporter tier. So I think it's correct, yeah. Sponsor is purple, I think, and supporter is yellow. Yeah, sorry, I just said it wrong. I get my own tier names confused. Why is this not working now? MST edges, minimum spanning tree compute. See, now here's the thing. I might need to do the minimum spanning tree on a per region basis again. Because right now the minimum spanning tree spans all the regions, but then when I start breaking down the edges based on the region connectivity, I think that screws up the minimum spanning tree, which is creating weird islands and stuff. Because what the minimum spanning tree is designed to do is it's designed to make sure that every node is visitable, and then extra edges get added in from that. But if I'm removing things from the minimum spanning tree based on whether they're connected to a region or not, that's gonna mess everything up. So, oh no. I think I need to do the minimum spanning tree based on each region. So I need like a hybrid approach of what I was doing before. So I think the way I need to do this is I need to triangulate the whole map together to get all of the edges. But then I need to create 3 separate minimum spanning trees, one for each region, so that each region, all the nodes are guaranteed to be visitable in each region. Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. So we're going to go back. Let's put this back down here. Oh, but the problem here... Can I do this? Okay, let's just do this. I'm gonna get rid of all this for now. If I run this, I should see 3 separate minimum spanning trees. I think in general, the map links need to be connected to everything around them, especially if we now have to move in a certain direction. It'll be super annoying to try to run to the next region, then have a dead end revealed in fog and have to backtrack. Yeah, there will be no dead ends. That's the whole point of like doing this MST stuff. What? Maybe I need to change this. I'm watching on 2 platforms now, YouTube and Udemy. Oh, nice. Overdose. Since I'm somewhat late, what are we trying to solve? I'm trying to, so there's different regions now that the player can navigate to. I'm trying to create checkpoint nodes that serve as the bridge between regions. Okay, I don't know what's happening here. Oh, I'm never adding, wait a minute. I'm never calling add node here. Oh no, I am. This is confusing. Oh, I'm never applying the MST. That's why. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, they're like nav. Exactly, yeah. So I've got multiple regions that need to be connected through some nodes that I control. Okay, here we go. Now, why isn't this working? It's still connecting. Oh, maybe it's not. Yeah, so you can see here. So see how there's no connection here? So there's no connection here all the way down. So now I've got a minimum spanning tree. Okay, cool. That is now working. So now let's go and do this next. Let's re-add all this code here and see what happens. So I almost think I can do this. I can move this into the for loop now. I don't need this now because the MST is guaranteed not to be connected to a separate region. Wait a minute, this is not going to work either. I have the map edges, so if I do var all edges is equal to map.get edges. So let's do all map edges. Okay. This is going to apply the MST. Let's get rid of this. I don't care about that. This is not going to work either. Let's just see what this does real quick. Let's get rid of all this stuff. So I should see now basically what I had a half hour ago, which is that I get a bunch of interconnected, or I get a bunch of regions that are interconnected with themselves, but are not connected. Yeah, so here's the region break here. See this? Okay, now the difference is though that the data is different now because I've triangulated the whole map together. So now what I should be able to do is I should be able to identify the edges that should connect the checkpoint nodes and add those back in. Okay, so we've done all that stuff. Good. Now I can go down here, and what I can do is I can say, okay, var all checkpoints is equal to map.nodes.where event node type checkpoint, yes. For each var checkpoint in all checkpoints, we want checkpoint edges, var checkpoint region edges is equal to all map edges where x dot. No, I need to do this where var is edge connecting region is equal to x.nodeA.notoriety region is not equal to x.nodeb.notoriety region. Var edge contains checkpoint is equal to, yeah, and then we'll just return is edge connecting region and edge contains checkpoint. Okay, then we're gonna do this. Take rng.randi range 1 to 3 .toList, and then we can do map.add shortcut. Oh, let's do this. Checkpoint edge in checkpoint region edges, map.add shortcut checkpoint edge. Okay. I have no idea if this is going to work, but it should. How's the dev going? I would say it's going pretty well. We're just doing some map stuff. It's kind of hard to wrap your mind around a little bit, but it's okay. It's all right. So now let's see what happens. So now we got a checkpoint here. We got a checkpoint there, and we got a checkpoint there. Look at that. And I wish I had a way of determining, I mean, these are obviously higher tier, so now the checkpoints are serving as the bridge to the next region. And that should be the case up here as well. There's a checkpoint there. Yeah, see how there's a checkpoint here, but then there's no way to get to that next region until you get to this checkpoint or this checkpoint. Okay, I think it's working. And that should prevent crisscrossing too. Very cool. Yeah, so now the only way to get into the next region is through the checkpoint. And again, the reason why the checkpoints are here is because that's going to be the way that you can trigger the boss fight early. So if you want to leave the region before you've filled up your notoriety bar, entering a checkpoint is going to trigger the boss fight. And so that's just a way of making sure that you fight each region's boss before advancing. And then the idea is that if you get to the checkpoint early, before the boss bar fills up, you'll get some extra rewards of some kind. I don't know what those are gonna, what shape those are gonna take, but that's the idea anyway. And so now it's kind of like, then you have to make your way to a checkpoint. Now I don't know how this is gonna work with the Fog of War. That's gonna be a good question. So there's definitely gonna have to be some kind of player education telling them or insinuating that they need to move up the map, generally speaking, but yeah, I think it's working. Yeah, it's nice for sure. I'm glad it's working now. Okay. That was a little bit of a back and forth, but we did it. We did it. Now what I might want to do is remove the MST. Did I remove the MST from the map? Yeah, okay, I did. Yeah, indeed. Whoop, whoop. Could be the opposite. Once you're in a visited region, roaming enemies appear and the notoriety points are increased like mentioned. Yeah, I like that idea too. I think it would be interesting to give the player some kind of reason to go back into an old region. But yeah, I don't know. Those things will take shape as we continue here. All right, so make checkpoints connected without crossing edges. Whew. Now to wonder if the checkpoint should always be visible or if there should be an artifact that does it. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out for sure. The checkpoints are also not functional, so we're gonna have to do that. But I think what might be fun is I'll do a checkpoint node. We'll draw that up. Let's see. Map icons. Okay. I'm thinking like a checkpoint. Needs to have at least 1 pixel. Or 2 pixels? I don't know. Anyway, I'm thinking it would be cool to do like a gatehouse for the checkpoint. I'm just going to draw the really rough shape for now. Something like this. Yeah. Okay. I'll have to play around with this. I don't know if this is going to look that great to start, but that's all right. Need to figure it out. We'll figure something out. All right, anyway. Let's put the background on so I can see this a little bit easier. It almost looks... There we go. I think that looks better. Well, it's looking a little rough, but that's okay. What happens if I do this? Oh goodness, this is not working. My art skills are failing me today. The ghost in Spelunky comes to mind. If you spend too much time in a level, the ghost appears and you can instant kill on touch. You can kill the ghost for a level, but it will appear again in later levels. Oh yeah. Black canvas modulate, point light 2D equals instant ambience. Yeah, true. Looks kind of soft, yeah. Reminds me of the flayed man flag from Game of Thrones. I don't know that. I don't know that. I think the top part is just terrible. Really? Why does that happen? That's so annoying. That doesn't look right either. I'm gonna have to look at reference images of a tower. That looks kind of okay. That's looking better. Looks better than the other one, yeah. I think so. Hey, hope you are good. How different is the approach to add hand-drawn assets to a game instead of pixel art? I don't think it would be that different. Aside from the art process, it would be basically the same, right? I liked the thinner one personally. Do we abandon the node shenanigans and start doodling instead? No, this is part of the node shenanigans. We need a piece of art for the gatehouse, right? Okay, well this is not working. I'm very obviously not on top of my art game today. So we're just gonna say this is garbage and we will fix it later. Yeah, it's garbage. 100% total absolute garbage. It's okay. We'll figure it out later. I almost wonder, wait a minute. Let's see. I like this here. So if I take this, split it this way. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. I'm not feeling it. All right, let's go. I just came back finally. Well, I'm about to end the stream, actually. It doesn't look bad. No, it's okay. It's just... Yeah. I need to look up some reference images and play around with it some more. It doesn't look that great. But shows how far you come when this is your first idea of quick and dirty. Yeah. When this is your idea of quick and dirty. Yeah, I mean, it's just like... It's hard. It's still hard for me. By the way, is it possible? Can you please share the palette? Please, it's really nice. It's called The Witching Hour from Low Spec. You're really hard on yourself. It's not that bad. I like it. Yeah, I appreciate that, but you know, I've set a high bar. I don't want to just throw a bunch of meh art into the game. You know what I mean? So initial work on checkpoint node. Or I should have said art, whatever. Anyway, that's going to be it for the stream today. Thank you everyone for watching. I have to go grocery shopping now because for some reason we need to eat food. But again, I want to remind everyone that Alka Mortis is available for wishlisting. So you can wishlist that on Steam. It's the first line in the description below. And I also have the Patreon available. So if you're interested in getting immediate access to the playtest, you can join the Patreon at one of the paid tiers. You will get a Steam key emailed to you. And of course, if you don't want to support financially, that's totally fine. The public playtest will go live next week. So if you just want to wait until then, that's totally fine. But if you're a Patreon supporter, you've got also a bunch of extra perks as well as early access to any future playtests as well. So that's something that you can do. So check those out. Those are linked in the description below. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate all the support, and I will see you in the Discord and on the stream tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye everyone.